No, and we're live. Here we are. It's Sam and Rachel, and Michael has joined us. Yes, it's the weekly LocalSupport client meeting. So I'll just take it to the share screen. I'm a bit worse for wear, so maybe I'll talk intelligibly for a change. So yeah, just been through this is meeting 126. Yeah, ongoing review of the Icebox. We're doing a new thing, which is we're kind of doing this async voting on the Icebox at the moment. And what that means is that, so rather than having kind of a face-to-face meeting on Google Hangouts, we're using this chat environment to kind of have, basically all the different tickets that are in the Icebox, I'm sort of posting to the group and I'm saying, okay, we've got this thing for doing this or doing that or what have you. Let's everybody send me a DM of the vote and then we'll have a little chat. And so actually that's, you know, because a direct message, okay. It's a texting thing. But so yeah, if we just go over here and we go into the, bless you, look at the Icebox.
So everybody votes, and if you're in agreement,
then we just, that's it, we move on. If there's some, yeah, so you kind of like do this simultaneous voting so that if it exposes, oh, I thought that was going to be really difficult, on iPhone it's going to be simple, and then you have a discussion. So we're gradually populating the different things that are in the Icebox with votes of 1 for simple, 2 for medium, 3 for complex, and hopefully that makes it easier for people to take things out of the Icebox. We're just sort of doing that independently of anything else. Something we might look at later again is I mean, in some other project we've created another column where we separate all the ones that we voted on, because there's this idea that you don't start working on anything until it's voted. But that's sort of an ongoing effort to review all of the previous features we've thought about and fixes and so on. I haven't done this, which is following up with those groups about API access. Because I've been a bit unwell this week. Yeah, we've got our new person called Lara, who's based in South Africa, who's having a look through our Google Analytics, and she's actually started work on the search engine optimization task for us, and she knows about these things. So she's got some changes that will hopefully come through and support that. I could work out how to automate that invoicing. Oh, one thing I was going to mention there is that actually, so the invoicing that we're doing for you, that's basically covering is payment for these security certificates, as you may remember. There are some changes in the world of security certificates now with some new free providers of security certificates. So something we could be looking into. And there's also, I'm having discussions with another hosting service who would provide that sort of service free. So I mean, something we could be looking to moving towards is switching hosting provider or switching certificates in order to reduce those costs for you, which I presume would be, that's always better, isn't it? Yes. So yeah, I mean, I think I'll add that as an action item here. It's important to mention it. I think it's something we don't want to kind of rush into, because everything's nice and secure and sorted at the moment. So we need to audit any kind of new situation we'd be going into. We need to make sure that it is as secure. But that's I'll let's investigate alternate security. I'm a little bit irritated with our current hosting provider, who ended up accruing a lot of additional charges, not associated with LocalSupport, but with the Agile Ventures charity account, that there's kind of come out of the blue, and anyway, so that's kind of going on in the background. Was that one? I tried to sign up for some of these nominate events. The online ones all seem to have been completely booked up. And there was, I mean, I guess I sort of sent them an email, because on the site it said the nominate event is available, and then I clicked through and it says no, it's full up. And I sent them an email saying,
I found that it was always really hard to get.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it would be nice to work out. I mean, it's funny, particularly for an online event, that they've got limited participation.
Yes.
Because, like that would be a bit like, I mean, I guess that it depends what they're using, but we've got, like, for this, it's streaming on YouTube.
Maybe it's a practical thing, because if they've got 100 people and they all want to ask a question.
So absolutely, yes. If they're having a real-time two-way event, so that but it just in terms of yes.
Because I went to a physical event, I think mainly because I never managed to get onto the online.
Right.
So they did like a presentation, and then you were able to go and sit and talk one-to-one with somebody.
Yeah.
So I think they are quite keen to do that.
They may be, yes, yeah. So maybe I'll need to go to a physical event. Yeah, I guess I'll
It's
look
quite
at.
an interesting location. It was in a building in the basement of, I can't remember what it's called now, Somerset House.
Oh, right. Yes. I mean, it's funny. I kind of, in some ways, I'm kind of always loath to travel into London because of the time that it takes out and this, that, and the other. That said, on last Monday I went down to meet some people, and that was where this discussion about this new hosting provider came from. Which it's important to get out there occasionally. Yeah. So I haven't made any progress on the events system. We had a thing here. Find an event where we might talk to more charity groups.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're coming here to deliver training, you could even.
Well,
that's
yes, absolutely. Right, and I was sort of just struggling to remember exactly what this meant, but this was it was about us wanting to get more feedback on the site from the different people. But so could tech on end of training events. I guess we'll see how many people sign up for that training event.
I mean, I guess another event might be useful is we've got this, the project that Steve is also involved in, the V for Change, because people will be looking at different ways to advertise. Maybe
V for Change.
V for Change, Volunteer for Change.
Oh, is that the name of the lottery funded thing? Okay.
So maybe I can see next time we meet as like a board, maybe you could come.
Yeah.
Meet at Harrow Caribous.
Yeah.
That's quite easy for you.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I mean, I guess we can touch on the training events. The thing I was just saying to Alex was, if we can do it with 4 of us, then we can kind of split into 2 pairs and so on. He was just saying, like, probably difficult to get other VH staff involved in the preparation thing. Anyway, that's a separate focus. But yes, that's.
Well, if there's 3 of us.
Well, the particular thing that I want to dry run is, like, for the training events, it would be involve people splitting into multiple teams and doing things independently and then come back together. So if there's 3 of us, I can kind of like be running the event and then the 2 of you do something and then we come back. But it's sort of, if we had one other person, then we could split into 2 twos, do some things and then bring that back, and it makes it slightly more realistic. So anyway, so let's go into the agenda. We've done the charity bank stuff. That now becomes, now I've got those things from you. The action item for me is that's what Sam's completed, all posted, get all the stuff done. So usual review. Let's go back to the board. Let's go. I think the more sensible thing to look at is what this save now is features only. Click that. There we go, and close the other ones. Gives us a better view there. So yes, so in fact now, so Marowen, this is about this, seeing all of the opportunities and orgs in a single location. And we do have that. I was just looking at that on the develop server. So now, although here on the develop server it hasn't actually got them, but we've changed. Potentially there can be in the same location opportunities both from our local and also from Do It. And so we've got a potential different flag there that would include that. And I think you can sort of see here now with these different ones. There we go. Now we have there. Let's see. I think, is that supposed to be? I wonder if the scroll is not wonderfully working there. So I think we might still be. You can see we've now got this line here, which potentially separates multiple things in the same location. That looks to me. There we go. There we go. It looks to me like the scroll is not working. So we've got that, like, for example, that's the same location for Help Out Harrow and Harrow Samaritans. It may be that's actually. Oh no, I guess that's the.
I think they would have the same postcode, those 2, because they're like 2 separate buildings. But
so you can see we've now got 2 things in the same location. I think, though, see, I would have thought there's supposed to be a scroll bar there that we can't necessarily see. So a bug that will need fixing. So I'll just. I was having trouble. We've been having. It's been. Let's put that in that time. For me, we've got address issue with multiple vollops. The automated deploys haven't been taking place in quite the same way. As I say, being ill this week, I'm a bit behind. My apologies for that. But anyway, so that's being worked on. The rearranging the Google subpage results, that's our always check-in. So Harrow Community Network, it was actually now, it's a week ago. Let's see where we get to now. There. Right.
That's interesting.
Well, we've got about us is there.
Is that, because that last week, didn't we delete the museum?
We deleted the museum. And
That's
so
really
we've now got a
interesting.
few different
things.
other ones have come in. At least the about us is in the top. But this gives us a sense of community, doesn't it? That's not bad, is it?
And actually, they're more active than the one that always used to be.
Well, indeed, right. So I mean that sort of makes people think, oh yeah, there's a community going on. So that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's an interesting question there. I mean, we could be saying. I mean, we have submitted this site map. Yeah. Which is, I think, supposed to highlight some of the other things like the organisations and volunteer ops page. Interesting question whether this is actually preferable to a more formal one that just sort of showed specific aspects of the site.
I like how it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Well, we'll take a snapshot. Okay. It's like, maybe
interesting
next week it changes and it goes.
It's quite nice if it changes.
Yeah. No, a little variation. Absolutely. I mean, I guess. There, so we'll say client pleased with this layout. Yes. I mean, shall we mark that as kind of done for now? And obviously something that's been worked out there. We'll keep, I guess, things to. Problem is, if I mark it as closed, we may not look at it again. I guess what I'll do is I'll click finish on that. And we'll say deliver, and maybe let's look at it again next week, and we'll decide whether to put that to bed. So we've got all do it volunteer opportunities should open in the new window. That is it now at least. So this is volunteer opportunities. So if we now just click on there, that opens in a new window. Yes, that was develop. I don't know if I've managed to get that onto the production server. No, I haven't, so I can't. Yeah, I'm behind on that. So that's still not delivered. We've got the volunteer ops paranoid for archival. That, let's see. Now, do we want to, should we maybe identify, have we got, I think some of these are our own. So is this, is that long gone? So if we, we'll log in there. That can now be deleted, and so that's gone. So that's the functionality we would like. I guess I should be just double checking on the server that we can. Okay, so LocalSupport. We'll run LC minus R production. I mean, I guess I'll, rather than doing that now, I'll pop a note in there for me to double check that. Double. Archived lots. Okay. But that functionality is, so I think we can accept that. That's there, that's out. Make volunteer opportunities search on all volunteer opportunities show pages. That's now been merged. I think we've got that on develop. If we have a look at the individual show pages, although of course the majority of things here. Yes, okay, and I think I can see, right, that this has been done wrong. In as much as what we've got here now is we've got the search page for organisations.
But you're on organisations.
It's taken us to, well, you're right, and I think Oh no! What did I just click on the wrong button?
Yeah, I think you might have clicked the organisation.
Oh, okay. If we go back to volunteer ops, okay, voluntary action Harrow. It's taking me to the organisation.
Go down
Yeah,
to the
right.
bottom.
Sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing, didn't I? Shows how slowly my brain's going. Right, I should have clicked on
that,
there. Yes. Okay, and that's not actually. Yeah, I thought that had been merged. Anyway, so that's not finished. So SEO, yeah, we're trying to improve for Harrow volunteers. So that's what Lara is working on. But I don't think any of the changes have gone out there. And I don't think that we appear.
Just search.
Yeah, so Be Inspired, Friendship Works, Independent Age, and doit.org.
So you never going to get above those in this.
No, unless we actually pay for it. And then to the top one is the Harrow Council site. And then we've got the Royal Action Harrow, Mind in Harrow, Do It in there, Harrow Volunteer within Do It, St Luke's. But yes, I don't know that we're
not on the first page.
Not on the first page, and I don't. Yeah, so we'll see if Lara can effect some change there. Of course, it will take a few weeks to come through. So yeah, I mean the posting our volunteer opportunities to do it, as we were talking about before, that's more complex in that it sort of requires this third party they need to be able to authenticate with Do It in order to set that up. We had that conversation the other week. I mean, I think Marowen, who was working on this, has kind of been a little bit, it's kind of complex. We were talking the week when we about how we could have it so that they were posting through the Volunteer Action Harrow account versus their own account. And it's sort of, I guess, for the group that doesn't have their own Do It account and is very small, that's a nice feature to be able to provide. But for those others who do, we wouldn't want, because then you have to manage their volunteering things. Yeah, so we've talked about the being able to override the thing. That's kind of, I think we've actually put that back onto the icebox. That's, you know, the things that we're getting. Hey, Michael.
Hey.
You were just saying something?
Do It doesn't offer authentication.
Do It doesn't do what authentication? Sorry.
OAuth.
I think they do actually.
Oh, they do. So then it's possible.
Oh, it's definitely possible. Yes, I think it's definitely possible. And I think Marowen was looking at it, and I think maybe, you know, he's just got busy. But it was sort of, we probably, in order to help him make further progress, we would need to give him like a really sort of some clear direction there on, you know, the way to do it, because there are these different possibilities between people who already have Do It authentication, you know, making sure they use that, and, you know, providing Volunteer Action Harrow cooperatives authentication via Do It. So yes, there are various possibilities there.
So basically, I mean, the main difference to consider is that if they want to post it under their own credentials, they would have to hook that up into our site.
They would.
And then that would let them manage it directly on the Do It site. Whereas if they were so small that they didn't have credentials, then you could post it under VAH's credentials, and then they would have to manage it through HarrowCM.
Yes, but I think that's kind of in line with the sort of philosophy, is that for the groups that are really small, we want to provide them a little web presence. We want to provide them, you know, that kind of functionality, but we don't want to take it on for people who can do it themselves. Yeah. Yes. So I mean, I get. So I mean, that's definitely, it's an interesting, you know, I mean, OAuth is the kind of thing that, you know, having said that you've been able to do that and set that up, looks great on your CV. So, you know, we'll see. In terms of the things that are appearing in Do It at the moment, I mean, that thing about being able to override them was the concern originally, that there was a lot of sort of messy Do It data. At the moment, it's looking okay.
It's
is it?
stuff that's being put up by individual organisations. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of, so that continues to be relatively low priority. Can I move that further down the stack? I can. Or I can't. Anyway, so well, then we've got maybe a little bit a chance to look at some other things in the icebox. So we've got this one guy in China who's very keen on setting up a localized version of the site, which is to be able to run the software in the same places. I mean, it might also allow us to, show the interface in different languages locally, which is something that, So that's we sort of vote on that. It's a relatively big item. But anyway, so that's kind of there. I guess if he's some of that, I guess these things, if he started on that, I noticed also we've got this one here, which is do it mentions in the map key be hyperlinks. This one I've just had a pull request from John, who working with who did a lot of the map stuff early on. And he's still very busy with his job, but he's got one of his co-workers there, and they're doing it together. So they've just, you can't see it here, but they've just had it so that the do it things will actually link to do it, which is one of the things that we agreed to do it that we do. So so that's nice. So but what they haven't done is they haven't clicked start on that. So I'm just going to click start on that, and also on this one, because that's move those up into the top box there, because they are actually working on those. I've got to make sure they get their right things on that. So then going on, okay, so with this one thing, there was this idea of add social media sharing buttons, which did we talk about the other week?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, one of your suggested.
Yeah, and in fact, so that's again the same guy in China. He's actually he did a pull request. I think, and so there's kind of a group called Add This, I think, is that the, and they sort of provide buttons.
Okay.
So that are like for social media sharing, and there's basically at the side of the page you get this.
Yep.
And potentially we could have that throughout our site. And I mean, I have to review his pull request a bit more carefully. But is that the kind of thing that you?
Yeah, I guess the other thing would be to get more traffic to the site. Is there a way that HCM could have its own whatever those are, which I can
have like a Twitter page and a Facebook,
set up. But is there a way that it could be automated so that when something new comes in, it goes onto the Twitter?
Yes, that's what we do for the main Agile Ventures site. So when we have a hangout or an event, and then once it's finished, it gets posted to our Twitter feed. So yes, absolutely. Yes, that's let's get that feature down. I don't know if I'll just write the word Twitter in there. Do we have an existing one? No, let's have a new thing on the icebox there.
So would I need to set up the Twitter and the Facebook?
Yeah, we could do that for you. But yes, so this would be so the story here would be automated posting to social media feeds. So as the site maintainer, to increase traffic to the site, and like there to I'd like us to post new site activity to social media feeds. Yeah, I think that could relatively easily be arranged. I think it's also the kind of thing that our members would like to work on as well on social media.
So I guess that's something that could follow across if we did get the events in the event.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean we have, so we like to have the Adventures Twitter feed, and then you can see here it's sort of but yes, so we get people doing pair programming and things, and it posted on Susie John. Yeah, that in fact actually this was the thing. So it's all shared there. So we definitely know how to do that. Yeah, I guess so. Having added that, does the social media sharing buttons seem like something that we could do that? That obviously for people who are at the site, they would then. I should have gone back to that. It basically means that if somebody finds a charity or a volunteer opportunity on the site that they want to share in some mechanism, whether it's emailing or printing it out or what have you, those buttons would appear at the edge of the site, like over here.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yes, that's great. Well, what I'll do is I'll prioritize. Yeah. I'll just put that mention in there. So client approved this, and we can get that, I think, relatively simply, just sort out the accounts associated with it. So we've got other things in the. I mean, I guess just quickly we could. I'll read through some of these, and you could say which of them, if any, are particularly high priority. So, allowing volunteer to have different telephone email from parent org, switch landing page from organizations to volunteers. The view details button could default to open in a new tab. Is that for? I think that's specifically for the admin. Okay. I think that's probably if you're in the admin view for things like the users. There's, I don't know, how have you, some of the, or is it people, it's probably maybe one of the proposed thing. We've got these view details, these currently stay on the same page. That's what that was about. So it's kind of if you're working through these things. I think all of those are tests. I guess, is that proposed organizations? We've got proposed edits. Don't know if there's any significant change there.
So this must be something, because that starts venue and that starts highest. There must be one.
I think there's HTTP being added there, hasn't it? We should probably accept that added. Yes, I mean, I think we've set up, I mean, it would be nice to have these auto-link things in them, wouldn't it, as well? Organization. I mean, I think we've now set up so it notifies you when those changes take place, but that may have been from a while ago when it wasn't. So, allow superadmin to see the admin level of all the existing users, allow superadmin to upgrade individuals to site admin, export data from site in CS format. I mean, and then it goes on and on all the things we've been talking about over the years. Is there anything that you would say is more important than another at the moment?
I put that higher than the overriding.
Yes, this one, I think I might have to go now then to add. If we look at it in this view, we can now, I'll put that to the top. And I'm going to have to resort them there. But yeah, if you pick out anything from here that you think is...
the events one. I know it's quite a big one, isn't it?
Sure, but we can certainly move it to the top of the... I mean, we've got these things here. Are they... It doesn't make it so easy for me to... We've got the ability to add an event. I mean, what I can do is take things to the top of here, and then that increases the chance that people will see them. I'm just going to click from the bottom. So pull do it organizations into our system. Right. We're not actually putting the organizations in at the moment. We're just putting in the volunteer ops, and then we leave the... Is that something that we would ever want to be doing?
I think stick with the...
Yeah, what we've currently got. Link charities to their places in the Google Places API, connects charities with each other, marketing via HMRC's profile. I mean, that's just everything that generate income for the site. Find a job. That was something just going through some very old ones. We've got volunteer opportunities. We could be posting charity jobs. Map with volunteers events and orgs in different colors. Events newsletter. Shall I pull that to the...
Yeah, I guess if we're looking at it, then...
I mean, I guess you do an events newsletter already, don't you?
We do, yeah.
I mean, I guess, what do you, in order to do that at the moment, do you kind of like use...
manual.
Right.
So people send us their detail, and that could be in an email, it could be an attachment.
So if there was a form that people could say, this is an event,
goes onto the website,
and it would automatically go out to the feeds and then and the newsletter and so on. Yeah. Web adverts of VAH events and activities. Well, that's sort of the same. That's promoting your existing, your own events. If we had the form that do that, integrating this with Map, allow organizations to set logo. More sophisticated search for linking feedback form into the site. What was that? There was the one that you created. This is a feedback form that I think you had a few people fill in at different points. We could have that. Do we have that linked into the? I wonder if we have that linked into the site at some level already. Like we've got our different. I mean, it might be nice to have a little feedback. Yeah, like even here it could have feedback, couldn't it? And to try and encourage. At the moment, people haven't necessarily got any obvious way to give us feedback on the site. Yeah, maybe I should pull that up to the top, or at least higher up and do it later. Put that up there. FAQ for charities. Some more support email forms for orgs that don't give emails. Update your charity information email. That'd be like reminding people that their charity information might be out of date. Multiple owners permitted for each org. Bulk import of list of organisations. Include information charity page about who edited it last.
The other thing is, when we looked at the charity commission, is there a way of updating more regularly from, using that? That data seems to be put out once a month, doesn't it?
Well, that was the interesting thing about that data, is that that data snapshot that we found now doesn't seem to be there. I mean, Michael was asking about that, and I had a copy of the data which I sent to him. But well, I can. But what they seem to remove it from the page. The charity commission data download. So they've got this charity page here now. Oh, okay, it was briefly away, and now it's come back with this. So yeah, so there is this.
That's September.
And that's not September. The last one I had was June. Maybe they, in August, they removed the June one and they just had. I went to it the other day, and
there was a few, wasn't there?
Yes.
So it does look like they've done something.
They might have changed it, or got rid of their old ones, or what have you.
I guess from there you have to work out what's the Harry organisation.
Yes.
You don't want to put everything.
No, I mean what it would involve is, I mean we had that data download from the opencharities.org.
Ceased working.
Which is, it's still there. It's not clear that their data download is being updated, like their zip file that they provide. Is it here? Like, although I think in principle this page is updated, so like it says like newest charities, and these have got newly registered charities appearing in there. So they've got some system which is going and scraping the charity commission websites, but then their data dump, which is what we took from, when we looked at it, after a couple of years, didn't seem to be including those latest things. I mean, it's certainly worth checking them, because theirs is in a format that we at least wrote code to process. I mean, they do also have. I mean, this is another thing, is that I think they do have, like here, they do have, like if we look at their individual, for example, so new one of these came out, we can, I mean, this doesn't contain emails, I think, at least they.
No, I guess.
So this does provide what the Charity Commission doesn't provide, which is a way to extract the data in a format.
We're not expecting it to be a high turnover, so it could be again a case of manually going and finding the email addresses, which we did originally, wasn't it? So we think. So each month there's going to be X number of new charities, but the reality of how many are going to be in Harrow is going to be quite low. So we could fill it. You don't then get an email address.
I mean, what we could be doing is we could be, I mean, they've got Open Charities has got this RSS feed, which appears to be updated. So we could be processing this RSS feed. That will give us, you know, we would then need to like look at the individual charity page. We would then check this. We would then need to kind of come in and look at the address. So they've got the postcode. We have got like a list of all the Harrow postcodes. So, and if it is a Harrow one, then we could check that against, is it in the site? Or is it, I mean, that could be happening. That could be happening to the extent that it's interesting that they are still, what does this say here? That says charities. They're all charities. Do they have, where's the download? We've got the all charities list. Do they have that as a, oops, can't spell. I mean, it's still a little unclear what the relationship between, oh right, they've got a JSON version of that one. To all charities. I mean, the interesting thing, can we search for Harrow?
What I found before was you get anything that's got Harrow in the address.
Yeah.
So if it's Harrow Road.
Yes, sure. Yeah. No, indeed, it's not. It's. I mean, their search mechanism is not as sophisticated as the one in there. I mean, it's also that there are, but it's interesting. All of their stuff here, like I just take the Harrow thing and I add this on the end, and actually we can see we've got information there about the individual things. I mean, there's a number of. I mean, when we very first started, I thought that this was going to be the exciting kind of, you know, regular aspect of like there's a whole interesting data manipulation task there that people could get into. It ended up becoming a lot more about the rest of the site, but it's certainly something we can get back into. And maybe have they removed their data download? We've got about Open Charities. Oh, okay, here we go. Right, so that's their.
So would that be the most recent version?
Well, this is the most recent version that they've got. Okay. I mean, the interesting question with this is whether this file has been updated since we last downloaded it.
I guess what you want is the one that's updated every month from this. They seem to be doing something, don't they? You've got ones that have been registered.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. They may be now.
Actually, they've got it automatic because if they're not working on this site, but it's still being updated.
Well, I think that their scraping operation may still be working, or at least.
But not manually.
No, not manually. No, I mean the fact that this newest charities feed is here. I mean, you know, if they're, it's 33.8 megabytes, they're clearly not providing the same file there. And I have a feel like when we looked at this, so that if we can compare those, particularly since that's there now, I'll just download that. Yes, I mean, it would be very nice, because clearly, you know, if we're talking about emailing people to ask them to update things, you know, that's a bit ridiculous if they've already updated it with the Charity Commission, and we're saying to do that. Because there's obviously an extent to which there's some data that in our site that's out of date because it was pulled, you know, a couple of years ago. You know, but yes, I can certainly recompare those chunks of data. I mean, and of course, I mean, it's interesting to see you've got here, like they've got, you know, links to the charities' Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and also information about their spending and their income, you know, exposed there in a way that's much easier to see than it is on the main site here. What we would of course love to have is.
So are they?
Sorry, go on, Michael.
I just downloaded some of these files, and they seem to be like Microsoft files.
Yeah, the ones from the Charity Commission are.
Yeah.
I think they're all working with Microsoft on the back end. The one from this Open Charities one is in a CSV format. That's the one that originally worked from. The big question on my mind is, have they updated it since we last worked on it?
Right.
How frequently are they updating this download.
Right.
What we would really like, of course, is this kind of. We would love to be able to have, on the government side, to be able to do a search for, give us all of the charities in this geographical area, come back, and we would basically be repeatedly updating our site based on what they have. But, yeah. Anyway, it's certainly, this is an improvement since we first started. Yep. Okay. Well, we were looking at. Anyway, well, that's probably, unless there's anything else.
Yeah, I think it's quite a bit.
There's always lots
two
of
of them are quite big things, aren't they? That and the events.
Oh yes. Oh, there's lots to do.
Yeah,
yes. And we'll see. I mean, it sort of, and we're often feels like we're scraping away at little things. I mean, Michael and I spending most of our time coding on the main site at the moment. So we've kind of, we've got the karma levels for the extent to which people have contributed to the projects, and we're doing a lot on trying to. We just tell it, so now we've got an upgrade to premium button on everybody's page and so on. And we're sort of focusing on things like that hopefully will.
You're not premium then?
I'm not. Well, actually, I think no, I'm not. Strangely, because otherwise that would just be me taking the money and then giving away. Go on, Michael.
You're mostly interested in getting more updated information on what charities exist in Harrow, right? Is that?
Yeah, there's always new charities being registered. So
right.
So we're just pulling out the ones that are Harrow that fit in our map and adding.
Because Sam had also mentioned data analysis. I don't know whether that was.
Well, I think we'd also talked about when we first looked and the data was available for the whole country.
Yeah.
As you were saying, like there's the ability to know what charities are available in general. You were saying that might be interesting to other people, kind of in what was it we were talking about back then?
I don't know.
No, but you were saying sort of like for people wanting to do analysis of what kind of charities exist, what kind of support to provide in a different area, then the data set for all of the charities in England and Wales is potentially an interesting ground for data analysis.
Yeah, to be honest, I can't remember that conversation.
No, that's right.
It may we've had many conversations.
Indeed.
I'm sure it's recorded if you listen to
I'm sure we could find it somewhere, yes. Yeah, I mean, I guess the question is, for at the moment though, are you aware of anybody who wants to do that kind of, that they have a data need, they want to know more about charities?
Research organisation. There are people that produce research on charities on a national basis. There's often reports and stuff, so I don't know whether sometimes it's done through universities, sometimes it's done through the sort of national sort of umbrella organisations.
Yeah.
They must have a way of, often you have reports that come out and say these are the most, the biggest charities, or
right.
Almost like business report. These are the ones that have grown. I know there's an annual report that comes out.
But
so
you wouldn't have.
You don't have any personal.
You don't have.
Go on, Michael.
Your organization doesn't have a need for like visualizing data on charities in your area, or.
I guess it's one of the things I think potentially could be useful for us. Whether it's a priority.
It's not a high priority though.
Yeah, I mean sometimes somebody did pull off some information of the Charity Commission, but I think that's an old report shows which were the largest charities in Harrow. So for us as an organisation, sometimes it's useful to know which are the most, so that we can maybe contact ones that we haven't had contact with. Because you can sort of discard some that have got no income coming in or out as inactive. But if we know there's a certain, and sometimes the really big charities don't need us because they've got the resources to support themselves. So sometimes we're looking at those medium charities.
Yes.
So I guess knowing who's turning over a certain amount means we could target our support at those groups better. Is a potential. Would be useful. Yeah.
So it's interesting. Just looking at the this is from the Open Charities group.
Yeah.
I can't find any dates in here that are in 2016.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can see that there are, I can find some in 2015.
Yeah.
So it's clear that this lags behind
What's on their actual website.
what, yeah.
So can you find out how they're getting that data and then replicate how they're getting that data?
Yeah, they haven't open sourced the way that they do that. I mean, I think I can infer the way that they do that because we've got the, they use some sort of, bot operation to go into, so if we like, so search for a charity, let's think about a different site like here, like they're using a mechanism to do, a search on this and pull the data back. So if we do a specific area, so if we specifically select Harrow, and then we search, so that gives us these pages of 20s, and you're able to the first 500 of these charities. Yeah. Results 1 to 25 are shown. I mean, go on, Michael.
I was saying the data dumps from the charity commission might be enough, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, we can potentially from, I mean, it would be simpler to take apart this file and
do a batch
than it would be to write a script that's working off here. And if these files are kind of coming in
regularly
every 2 or 3 months, then if we had the kind of data crunching thing set up there and that we could rely on these, then it would be relatively straightforward to sort of drop that in, and it would do the work. Yeah, which I think is yeah, I mean, that's something it's interesting for the sites, like about what would it's clearly we generally want things to be up to date. The interesting question is about, given a limited amount of engineering resources, where to focus that in order to maximize the number of people coming to the site. So clearly the search engine optimization and the social media things are probably yeah. I mean, in some ways, if we were linked up with if the council was was in some way using the site, or even the site was linked to on the council pages, I would have thought that would have a big impact on people's awareness of it. I guess in terms of what the council's strategy is regarding volunteering, we have no further update on that.
No, I don't think they've decided.
I mean, are they part of the V for Charity group now, or they're ignoring that group?
Yeah, there is a group that Steve set up about doing borough-wide actions that we're involved in. There was a meeting last week, but I wasn't at it.
No, okay. So, but so in terms of the council spending any money on
volunteering, no, that seems to have gone a bit quiet. Really.
Right. Well, I think since sort of Steve was like, "Oi, you! This is you shouldn't be driving this. We should be driving this." They're probably a bit kind of like, okay, right. Well, I think we've covered. Yeah. It's slightly frustrating not to have heard anything back from the Charity Commission about the Adventist charity. Yeah, I guess then there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to sort of wait for them for an email out of the blue.
They do have this on the Harrow Council website.
Yes.
So I guess what I could do is actually ask them, could we have a link to our site?
Yeah.
Because at the moment, that's not working at the moment. They usually have that. It's working. They have that to do it.
Why does it say we didn't do it?
I think because it didn't load.
This is right.
We're going just to Harrow. Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
We didn't do it. But then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those.
About the,
This is the start. Oh, that's interesting. It doesn't actually seem to.
Yeah, maybe it's not working somehow.
Well, I think they've maybe embedded it incorrectly.
Yeah.
So I
Do
think
you think they could embed our map? Could they actually?
In principle, they could. I mean, I think here what they've done is they've kind of done the embedding. They've like tried to embed it, and it's not working.
Yeah.
But yes, it would be. Yeah, it would certainly be nice to be linked to from there, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's like they've tried to embed a mobile version of the site, and so like.
I'm just seeing the page.
Oh, you're looking on a different page.
Oh, this is just their search.
Yes, of their own internal thing. How did you get to that?
That just their go to their site and search.
Oh, I see, like the general Harrow and search for volunteer thing there, yes. But you see what's happening here is that this is actually the Find Volunteers page, but you can't scroll. Yeah. So they've kind of embedded the mobile version, but it's having a problem. I mean, I wonder if that's whether you had that on your computer as well. Yeah. We were not getting the scroll in that other thing. Okay. Anyway, I think we should probably wrap up there. I think we've covered all the items. Yes. All right. Good to see you, Michael. I guess you're going to be off. You've woken up. You've just woken up early, and then you're saying you're not going to be around your morning.
I'm not sure when I'll be back.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I may. If not,
I might be back for the later meetings.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Bye for now. Cheers.
Bye.